Hello again everyone, and welcome back to one of the cybersecurity tools video I'm creating for you to explain one of the Kali Linux tools in cybersecurity. My name is Mina and I'm an IT technical support and a cybersecurity analyst. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting tool called Hashcat, and this tool, it's a password recovery tool or a cracking password tool. This password can use CPU or GPU processors to crack the password. It supports a wide variety of algorithms like MD5, like SHA, bcrypt, and many more. I will show you later on what are these. And as usual, there are some examples that I've put here. You can use, there is two types of password cracking. Either use a word list file, which means it's a text file that contains list of key words in it, and it's a possible passwords that everyone used it before, like a weak password, leaked password on the internet. People collect all of this in text files, and then you can download these text files on your machine and use it. Tell the Hashcat tool to use it. Now, this is called a dictionary attack or a word list attack. There's another type of it called a mask attack, which means I know the password is a combination of uppercases, lowercases, digits, and symbol, and it's between 8 characters as a minimum and let's say 12 characters as a maximum. So I know the password itself, not the actual password, I mean the method of the password. I know how it's constructed, how it's developed. So I can use this as a mask attack. I'm telling Hashcat, use all possible combination of digits and letters and upper cases, lower cases, and symbols to try to crack the password. And I'm giving it a minimum and a maximum, and say increment from the minimum till you reach the maximum until you reach the password itself. This is called a brute force attack. So you're trying every possible combination of this number or these number of characters. And the best part about this one, there is a few advantage of using this tool. One of them is using the GPU. What is the difference between a GPU and a CPU? So a GPU is, or a CPU is the actual processor on your motherboard on your computer. So by default, the tool is using the CPU. However, you can use the GPU. The GPU is the processor of your graphics card. Nowadays, the processor of the graphics card is much faster than the normal processor. So people tend to use the graphics card processor if you have a high-end graphics card on your machine, and it will crack the password in a less time. It's not gonna take a lot of time using the normal processor. So this is one of the good advantages of using this tool. And then character set, and I will explain this later. So let's jump in to Kali Linux machine, our virtual machine here that we are using for our testing. So I'm gonna jump to the terminal. Let's open a new terminal. I will show you this running terminal later on. And I have a folder here called Hashcat test that I created. I will remove or delete all the files in it. So I'm gonna list everything. So there is nothing inside this folder now. Let me clear the screen and try or show you the tool first. So as usual, to get the help of any tool, you just write its name and then space -h, and it will give you all the manual about it. So let's go up. So it's telling you how to use it. These are the options or the parameters that you can use with the tool itself, and with each one there is a small description here how it's working. If we go to the next table, this is the important table. So this is the hash mode. It's the encryption techniques or the encryption protocols that this tool can crack. So if you see here the categories, it's row hash, it can crack MD4, MD5, SHA. Then if we jump to the next category, it's a long list, you can take a look at it later on. It can crack checksum, so it can crack CRC32, CRC32C and more. Let's jump maybe to this one. That's network protocol, so it can, for example, it can crack SNMP version 3, can crack WPA, it can crack admin 3, and the list goes on and on. Operating systems, this is a very interesting one. So if let's highlight it here, that's the start. So it can crack GRUB2, NTLM, which is Windows, admin 2, Samsung Android password and pins, and so on. You can crack Mac OS passwords from version 10.4 till version 10.8 plus. This is on the current version of Hashcat tool right now. Later on in the future it might contain more and more with the newer versions. Database servers, it can crack Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, MySQL, FTP, HTTP, it can crack like SSH256. Of course it will take a long time to do it, but at least it can read it and crack it. Enterprise application software like SAP, SolarWind, PeopleSoft, Lotus Notes. Full disk encryption, if your hard drive is encrypted using one of these encryptions, it can crack it. What else? Documents, it can crack like PDF files, Office file like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, different versions. Archives, this is a very good one. Like if you know the file is compressed using WinZip or WinRAR or PKZip, SecureZip, WinZip, it's a lot of types of compression. CMS or e-commerce or forums like PHPS, Joomla, Drupal 7, MyBB. These are CMS platforms that lots of people use on the internet to create forums or CMS or e-commerce platforms. And the list goes on. Here is interested category. It can crack cryptocurrency wallet keys like Bitcoin, some type of encryption for the Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, and so on. So you will need these, and as you can see in front of each one there is a number here. This is the numbers we are going to use in Hashcat, telling Hashcat this is the type of the encryption to use to decrypt the file or crack the password. Now let's go more. There is another section that I want to show you. These are the modes. You can use straight, combination, brute force, hybrid, and here are the character set. So if you're using a brute force attack and you know the password is like a maximum of 15 characters, minimum of 8, and it's a combination of lowercase and uppercase, so you can specify it's a lowercase and uppercase. If it's lowercase, uppercase, digits and a symbol, which everyone now is using because this is a very complex password, you can use all of them or one of them if you know it's only lowercase. But if it's everything, you can just use the letter character set A and it will include everything in it. So I'm just telling Hashcat use all possible combination of these character sets, the lowercases, uppercases, digits and symbol, every possible combination out of it. That's the brute force attack. What does it mean exactly? So device type, you can use the CPU, it's by default the CPU or the GPU, and then some examples on how to use it. Now let's put this for a test. So I'm gonna clear again. Now let me explain how it's working. So when you compress a file, a zip file, you compress it with a password, and then this password will be encrypted using one of these methods that I showed you before. and the encryption key is a very long key with a bunch of letters and numbers and symbols. So you can't read this hash key, you can't use it, but this is the password itself. I'm telling Hashcat to crack this hash key so you can reach the actual password itself, and eventually it will reach it. It will take some time, depends on the performance of a machine, the number of characters in the password, but eventually it should reach it. How long it takes? It might take years, it might take months, it might take days, or even a few seconds, as I'm going to show you it now. So let's put it for a test. I will create a file called demotest1.txt, and then let's type anything about it. This is a file that contains any data. I will save it. Let's save it in this now. Now if I list what's inside this folder, it's only one text file. Now let's zip it with a password. So I'm gonna say zip -e, which is encryption, and then the file is called number1.zip. This is the zip file name, and I'm telling it take the txt file and compress it. So it will ask me for a password, so I will put 6-digit numbers, and then the file is compressed, so I will have here 1.zip. Now the next step, once you have the compressed file that is encrypted with or protected with a password, let's extract the hash key out of it. So I'm going to use a tool called zip to Hashcat. I'm saying read the zip file and then put the hash key of the password inside this file called key.txt. So I'm going to do this one. File list again. I have now the key.txt. Let's look inside what is inside this file. Let me clear again. Let's do it. So as you can see, it's a bunch of letters, numbers, and symbols. This is the password, that's 6-digit passwords, but it's encrypted. This is the hash key that we need to crack. So I have now the hash key. Let's try to crack it. So the next step is try to find out the method of encryption. Which program was it compressed with? Was it WinZip or PKZip, WinRAR, or anything else? I'm trying to find the numbers that I'm going to tell Hashcat to use. So if you use Hashcat --show and then the hash key file, which is key.txt, it will try to read the hash key and tell you which encryption it's used. So this one, it's telling me it's compressed using PKZip, and these are the numbers for PKZip. So I should use one of these numbers and it will tell me if it's correct or not. If it's not correct, I will use the next one. So now let's use it. So I will Hashcat. I will use type Hashcat and then -m. I will use the first number 17220 and then -a3. This means it's a brute force attack, and then increment from 5 letters or 5 characters till 9 characters, and the hash key is in this file. Reads the hash key in this file. By the way, you can put as much as you can in this file. Like you can put 2 hash keys, 2 passwords, 3 passwords, 4 passwords, and it will take one by one and try to crack it. Then here you are specifying the mask, because for this video I know the password is digits, so I'm just telling the command it's a digit number. So just try all the possible combination of the digits, and I'm putting 9 characters. So every question mark and a letter beside it, it's one character, and I'm specifying for this one character the type of it. I'm just saying here D is just digits. So that's 1 character, 2, 3 characters, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters. Because I know it's 6 characters, I just put 9 for simplicity for now for the video. So let's press enter and see what's going to do. Okay, now let's go back, and now once you press enter, it's telling you some information here that may be useful for you. So it's telling you which it's using. So it's using the CPU, and this is the processor it's using. As you can see, it's a very old one. Telling you minimum password length is 0, maximum password length is 256. We found in the file one hash key, and if there is more than one hash key, it will tell you how many here. And it's telling you this is the number 65,536 entries to try, because this is just digits. And then it's a brute force attack, and there is a watchdog alert on it. So because it might take days or even weeks, months to crack a password, you're gonna leave the computer open 24 hours. For sure, you're not gonna sit 24 hours in front of the computer itself to see if something is happening. So this watchdog, it's telling you temperature abort trigger set to 90 degrees. So this means once the processor or the temperature of the computer reach 90 degrees, the process here will stop. It will trigger it to stop, to abort it, because it means this processor, it's causing the machine to heat up. Excessive heat is coming out of it, and it's to prevent its burning the motherboard or the processor or causing a fire. It's just gonna stop once it reaches 90 degrees Celsius. And then more information, it's telling you information about the process, speed, and the number of characters it's using. And this is the last section. What's interested in is it say here status is cracked, so it's telling you it cracked the password. If it's failed, it will tell you exhausted. This means it's failed. It did not reach a password for some reason. You might need to review your parameters or options, and according to the password method or construct, you need to modify your options again. And now it's telling me, yep, we reach it. It's a 6-digit or 6 characters password, and it's not showing the password here. So how can we sorry, let me erase this. How can we see the password now? So we'll use Hashcat again, and then minus show, and then the key itself, the file key.txt, that file that contains the password. It's not this one. Let me go back to my notes. How can we show the password? Just bear with me. I put it somewhere here. Just bear with me. I've written it somewhere here. I'm just trying to find it. Okay, so let's go back to Kali Linux. So if we add to the command that's cracking the password at the end, minus show, and it's gonna tell you this is the hash key and this is the cracked password, which is 123456. So this is the password, it cracked it. If let's see, let's crack it again, and we'll use now lowercase a, b, c, d, e, f. I'm just using a simple password, so it wouldn't take much. A, b, c, d, f. So it wouldn't take much of time to crack the password. So now the password is updated. Now let's extract the hash key. So I'm going to say extract the hash key into key.text. Now let's look in it. So this is a different password now. Now let's try to crack it. In this case, I know it's only lowercase, so instead of D, I'm going to use L because L is lowercase. So that's one character, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, let me try to use the digits, and it will tell you there is it cannot be found because it's not digits 1. See, it's trying, and every time it's say exhausted. Still running. If I press S, it will tell me the status. It's still running. And so staying here the speed and how the acceleration, the loops. As you can see, it's still running, but it did not find anything because I said it's digits number, but I've put the letters number. And this is just an example of showing you it's gonna take some time if it's a long password, if it's a wrong password methods. I will quit for now. I will go back because I know it's all lowercase, so I'll just press lowercase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters because I said increment to maximum 9. Okay, still running. Yep, still running. And as you can see at the end here, it's telling you the temperature of the computer itself. So it's 60 Celsius or 61, so we did not reach 90 yet, so it will continue. And now see, it said here it's cracked. So I want to see the password, so I will just go back to the same command. I will just say dash dash show, and it's telling you the password is ABCDEF. So it depends on the password, the processor speed and performance of your machine. It will take how much time or how long time to crack the password. And this is how you use Hashcat. Now I will show you one interesting thing. So I've encrypted a file, or I have a file that is encrypted with around 12 or 13 characters of password. It's a combination of lowercase, uppercase, and digits and symbols, so every combination. So I'm running this Hashcat script, and if I press enter, it will tell you it has been running for 2 days, 19 hours, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds. It's trying 66.16 p per second. I have made some phrase per second, or password, sorry, it's a password per second, so it's trying 66 password combination of passwords per second, and still for 2 days now, 19 hours, still did not crack the password. This means the more strong password you have, the harder for a hacker to crack your password. So always use a very strong password, a combination of lowercase, uppercase, digits, and symbols. Try as much as you can to make it a minimum of 12 characters, maybe 15 with the current processor time. the latest technology that's available on the market, it can crack the 12 characters easily in maybe weeks, maybe less. So 15 will make it harder. Every time you add a character, it's the timing increases exponentially, like a lot, increases a lot to crack it. So please use a 12 characters as a minimum for nowadays. Later on, every year, security specialists and companies like antivirus companies, they produce a news about the minimum and requirement for a password, and every year they are increasing it. Like few years back they said the minimum requirement for a password is 8 characters, and today, nowadays in 2025, they say the minimum is between 14 and 15. So try to use, and 15 characters is a lot to remember, but if you want your password to be very, very secured and very hard to crack, you have to use it as minimum of 12, maybe 15 characters. Alright, thank you for listening and wait for other videos. Have a good day.